Hey everyone, it's Ashley, your independent Scentsy consultant. Welcome back to my channel. So I am here with my weekly home fragrance roundup. Crazy, it's already been another week. I was like, what's on my docket to film today? And I was like, oh my gosh, it's already time again. So I have my Chick-fil-A lemonade. Sorry if that's a little bit annoying. I have Jemmy in the room with me. Sorry if that's annoying. Hopefully she's not naughty. She just laid down. And then also, what do we think of the headband? I know this isn't on topic, but I'm trying to learn how to live with the short hair. So my hair, if you are new, is like recently, like 1 week-ish, like 12 to 14 inches shorter than it had previously been. So I'm trying to learn how to live with this new hair, and it didn't even occur to me. I've just been like trying to watch, videos and stuff like that, and somebody was like, oh, throw on a headband, and I was like, oh my gosh, that never crossed my mind. Like, I don't think I've worn a headband. I didn't even own one. I went to Target and I picked this up. So I got two, but I didn't cut the packaging off the other one because I was like, what if I hate it? Like, I'm just not a headband person. I never wore headbands with long hair because it just always looked weird. But I feel like with the short hair, it actually really works, and it kind of hides the fact that I don't know how to really style it yet, and also the fact this little greasy needs to be washed. So how do we feel? I mean, it doesn't really go with my North Face sweater. Anywho, we're here to talk about my weekly what I have been warming. So I'm going to start with the non-wax Scentsy products first. I just remembered I didn't grab the oil I was working on, but it's fine. I just worked on one of the ones from the Harvest collection, the apple one. That's the only oil I worked on. I'm trying to get a new diffuser shade because I think it'll be easier to take on and off. Like, I have the, not glow, but like the rounder one, and I'm gonna get one that's more like, let me just tell you what I'm trying to say, or let me just show you what I'm trying. Like, I have this one, and I'm trying to get one that's the shape of this, so it's easy to just take off. Like, this one, you have to like fully hold it with both hands, and we'll see if that helps my diffusing at all. That's a total like excuse, it feels like. Okay, a couple non-wax to start. We got pink cotton washer whiffs used up. I have like 3 more, or at least 2 more containers of that. I really, for some reason, I think that went on sale at some point, or multiple times. I definitely bought a couple of those like when they were on discount for some reason. And then I also went through pods in sandalwood tangerine. I feel like these didn't do that great. They smell good on empty. They smell good right here, but I feel like in the fan diffusers they didn't do amazing. So I don't know. I'm feeling like the pods have been a little bit hit or miss, and I don't know if it's the change in weather, because I think I talked about this recently, but I feel like some pods are just like, what happened there? Okay, I think those are the only non-wax for Scentsy. Let's get my brick of the week out of the way. So I worked on walnut raisin muffin this week for my brick day. I only used a half and a third, but at least I worked on this. I honestly could have used a little bit more. I cut these into thirds. I probably could have used a little bit more in certain warmers, but I also don't want to overload warmers that if I know I'm like not going to keep in this scent very long, I don't want to toss in extra wax and then also have to take out extra wax if I grow tired of the set or I want to change it. So typically on my brick days, I don't keep the wax in as long, just because I'm like, I know I'm going to rewarm this. I know I have a ton. I know I can get it again. Like, I feel like I'm not as inclined to leave a brick scent going as I would be just a regular wax bar. So I feel like I change these more frequently. So that's why partly too, I don't want to overload for no reason. But yeah, I didn't do a ton, but I made progress, and that's a win. And I just did my update for my brick. So this is the first one I've worked on. I will persevere and I will work on more. I need to have better progress than I did last time because I only worked on like one break last time. It was so bad. Okay, then for bars, I worked on in the bedroom. Let's see. In the bedroom, I finished up Frosted Vanilla. I'm completely obsessed with this scent. It is so amazing. It is, I'm gonna read you the notes. It's honestly, I know there's like a birch bark or some kind of scent like that in the notes, but it just is like the sweetest vanilla ever. And it's not, okay, it's sweet vanilla bean, birch bark, and frosty air. I think the frosty air is scaring people to think that this is minty. It's not minty. It's just like a cool vanilla. Not vanilla mint. Just like a cool, really strong vanilla. And the birch is giving it like a fresh vanilla and not a bakery vanilla. This is the strongest vanilla scent I think I've ever warmed. It's stronger than vanilla bean buttercream, and I thought that was a really strong vanilla. It's also not bakery though, so I feel like it just, I don't know, I've only done it in my bedroom, but every time I've done it in my bedroom, it blows me out of the house. Like, I totally overtake scents I have going in the open concept. It's amazing. I think this is my favorite of the new releases. I think scent appeal wise, I really like this, but I also really like Crayon Apple Crumble, but I need to retest that one. It just wasn't as strong as I would like it to be. This one is super high on scent appeal and super high on strength and throw for me. Some people, I feel like it's been getting a little bit of mixed reviews, but that one to me is like a complete home run, definitely clubbing, like all the things. I love it so much. And then we worked on some Glacier Water, only 4 cubes in the bedroom. This one for me, I can let go for days and days and days and days, and I don't feel obligated to change it. So I have this one in my club. I really need to go through my club. I feel like I've talked about this recently too, but I really need to go through my club and like make some cuts that I don't want to make, but I can't. Either I need to be okay with feeling overwhelmed with my club or I need to make the cuts. So essentially, like, that's where I'm at with it. No more excuses. That's the situation. Either I can be overwhelmed to keep them all, or I can just make the cuts. So we'll see what happens. But speaking of club, just very briefly, I got little note cards to kind of do the Melissa Johnson method, where you like lay them all out and kind of like pull your favorites. Watch Melissa Johnson's video, like so much better explanation, but essentially the mindset is like you lay all your club scents out. It's just for if you're a visual person, you lay them all out, and essentially the question you ask yourself is like, if I could only have one bar in my club, what would it be? And essentially like you pick out your favorite, and then you go again like, okay, now out of this grouping, if I could only have one, what would it be? And you pull a scent. So you keep doing that. And so essentially in the end, you get an order of like your favorite to least favorite, and you can do it however you want. But essentially I'm like, once I don't know if I'll do it exactly like that at the beginning, but I'm like, essentially at the end, if they're at the bottom, to me, I feel like personally they probably could get cut because they're obviously your least favorites of the crowd, but I haven't done the exercise yet. So it's easy for me to say that when I haven't done the exercise. I don't know if I'll film it or not. I might just initially go through it to just like think things through really intensely. But that is something I have on my radar that I need to handle. So Glacier Water in my club. This one I feel like will probably stay, because I just absolutely adore it. Okay, those were the only ones I did in the bedroom, actually. In the bathroom, where the rejects go, I worked on Palm Trees and Ocean Breeze and actually finished this one up. I don't like this one. That's why I went in the reject bathroom. I mean, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Now that I've finished that one up, though, I need to pick a new scent to warm in the reject bathroom, and I don't know what I'm going to do next. So I maybe could do Roll the Dice from the Whiff box. But if somebody, I'd love to gift that to somebody if somebody actually likes it. That and the red bar from Harry Potter. I don't have a full one of that, but I'm like, I'd rather just give it to someone who really likes it rather than try to hate melt it. But I haven't gotten any takers yet, so I just hanging on to them. Worst case, I guess I'll hate melt them. But like when I tried hate melting the red Harry Potter bar, Corey was like, "This is horrible. Please take this out." So, speaking of horrible, take this out. Please don't hate me. But Hocus Pocus, Sanderson sisters. This is like, I don't know what the notes are. I think it's cherry, maybe like a dark berry, and something else. It kind of reminds me of like children's medicine, and not like it's not like super cherry in the fact that it reminds me of that. It's just like the berryness in general, and it's kind of sweet but also kind of sour, and like the scent of it reminds me of taking children's medicine. And like I was not a pill swallower. Like I've very recently, maybe the last 6 years of my life, have learned how to like swallow pills for the most part. But even like Corey doesn't do pills typically, so we'll sometimes get like liquid medicine, and this just reminds me of that. And I had it going in I asked him if I gave him a couple options, and I laid one of these out as an option. Typically on like football Sundays, I like to do that. And he was like, "This is disgusting," just on cold. And so I warmed it on maybe like a weekend day while he was out watching football or something, like while he was not in the house. I was like, I'm gonna sneak this in quick and just check it out. I took it out of the warmer. I only had it going for a little bit, and I was like, this is actually gross. I'm not a fan. So I only bought one bar, thank goodness. That could have been so much better. It does I mean, it fits the vibe. Like it kind of is like medicine-y, potion-y, witch brew. Like it totally fits the vibe, but I'm like, we could have had like the most ideal fall scent. I have to see what other people are saying. I feel like I'm being really like negative Nancy on that one, but I'm not a fan, so sorry. And then I didn't like do that much Scentsy, I feel like, but through the open concept, I did Warm Pumpkin Drizzle. I tested this one out. It's the current scent of the month, and I think I let this one go for a few days. What did I have warmed? Maybe cider mill was still in the warmers. Did I do that one last week? Something had to have been in the warmers, but it's not in this basket, so it had to have been from last week. So I put this in like my kitchen, like my bakery type warmers, and I let this go for a few days. I kind of went through phases on like my thought process with this one. Like part of me is like, it's generic, I don't care about it. The other part of me, like one day I remember thinking distinctly like, oh, this smells really similar to Pumpkin Donut Shop. I have Pumpkin Donut Shop right here. I should pull it out actually, because I remember thinking that, but then I remember not thinking that later on. Oh, I'm gonna talk about this later in the video, but let's do yeah, they're not the same. This one has too much fruit in it to be. I just remember at one point thinking in the air, I was like, oh, this reminds me of Pumpkin Donut Shop a lot. I don't know, now that I am coming to my senses smelling them side by side, I don't know if it entirely does. And I think it's because it has so much fruit. I liked it. Will I club it though? Probably not. I have 5 bars for my kit still, so I need to stay strong. I'm probably not going to club it. It was nice. I think I would definitely want to warm it again, and maybe I wouldn't do it in my bakery warmers, which is like my kitchen warmer. Maybe I would put it more in like my open concept living room. And then this little combo I did pumpkin cranberry pumpkin spice in my more like living room warmers, and I did apple butter frosting in my bakery kitchen warmers. So neither of these are currently available. Apple butter frosting is in my top all-time faves. It truly is. Speaking of top, I'm going off on so many things. I'm really sorry. I hope you guys are just ready to hang out this weekend, okay? Speaking of like all-time favorite Scentsy bars, there was this trend going around like 6 months ago where everyone was like, here are my all-time favorite Scentsy bars. And I like have all their videos saved in my watch later queue. And I was like, I am going to do this too. And I haven't watched any of the videos, just have them in my queue, like waiting. And I haven't done it myself because I'm like so overwhelmed with my club. Like, how do I pick my all-time favorites? So I just haven't done it. Like, I'm not kidding, guys, when I'm like, I need to just go through my club and actually pick my favorites. Because I know, like, this is one of them. But I have, like, when I pulled my numbers for my club, I have, like, 75 bars, maybe, like, throughout all my clubs. That's a total guess. One of them, I think, though, has, like, 55. So I know it's over 75. It's gotta be. So it's like a lot, but they're not all faves in the way I love apple butter frosting. So that means I know I need to cut some of them, but I'd love to do that video. But now I'm like, the trend is like very much past. Not that people really, I don't know. I feel like I don't really care about that stuff anymore. As much as I like used to be like, oh, well, no one's doing that anymore. I can't talk about it. I feel like people would still watch it. But also I scroll past it every time I like go in my watch later and I'm like, oh my gosh, that was 6 months ago that they were like, it feels like it was like last month and I'm just like a little bit behind. I'm like 6 months behind. I feel so bad. And I haven't watched the videos yet. And so I'm like, I feel bad about the whole situation. Okay. Cranberry pumpkin spice though, this is also my club. This is the only one from the Harvest collection last year that didn't come into the catalog this year. And I really like it. Part of me is like, do I like it more than the other pumpkin scents right now? There's so many pumpkin scents to choose from. And I think this is where I need to be really, really, really honest, like about my club and stuff, is I like this one, but can I get this scent fulfillment elsewhere? Like, same with the warm pumpkin drizzle, like, if I didn't have pumpkin donut shop and I was like, oh, this is like so close to it and I really love it, would I feel like I need to keep it? Versus now I'm like, I don't need to put it in my club. I feel like I have the candle dupe. This one, I'm like, I have so many different like candle scents that are along these lines, I feel like, or that I would like more. Like, should I hold on to this one? Like, this is my favorite from that like Harvest trio, but that doesn't necessarily mean I need to keep it. So I'm conflicted. It's going to be like a really tough moment. So I'm like, I don't know if I would need to film that. I think I need to mentally prepare before I would share anything like that. Okay, on to my little vinegar wax that I worked on. I haven't been working on a coffee candle since I finished my coffee candle. I typically only did those on the weekends. Instead, I'm going to work through my vendor coffee wax, which is, I don't know why it just hit me that I should do that instead. So I worked on roasted coffee bean ice cream this past weekend. So this was like a little duo and I worked on one of them. I don't know that I really liked this, honestly. It's very much roasted coffee bean. The throw was very much non-existent. So since there's only one little cube, I'll probably just melt the other one versus like try to de-stash or anything. But that was a little bit of a bummer. Anyway, I finished one clam in Better Homes and Gardens Baked Apple Strudel. This one's really good, you guys. I don't know if this is out or anything right now. I picked this up last July. It's really, really good. I highly recommend it. If you see it, pick it up. And then I worked on a little bit of Cider House Donuts. Honestly, I don't love this one. It's kind of like a more watered down basic version of hot cider donut. So not as good. Like, it's very kind of bready. Like, I hate, some people get really turned off by the word bready. It's not like bread, but there's more donut than there is the cider or the like cinnamon sugar on the donut. It's like the actual base, like the donut, not all the fun stuff. I think that's like the vibe I get. So I just have 2 cubes left to work on. That will go back into my Bender Wax work on stash. And then this one's so sad, you guys. Like, I feel like you can hardly tell. Like, I've only talked about this twice, but I feel like each time, like, you can hardly tell I worked on it. This is L3 Waxy Wonders I Put a Spell on You. I love this. I can't believe I waited so long to melt it. I bought this a year and like 1 month ago. It's from August 17th. And I just cut into it. It's amazing. I know why people love this now, because I really, really actually like it. So those are my like empties, if you will. So I'm gonna keep those handy. I'm gonna pick up the candle bin. I have all these up here actually because I'm gonna fill my candle project pan next. I'm so excited. But I'm gonna talk about them just briefly here. I have a Wallflower plug in here. So random, but I can't say that I've ever used up a Wallflower plug. I've had plugs that have lasted me like over 6 years and not had issues with them. I know some people have big issues with Wallflower plugs. This is the first time I've ever encountered an issue with the Wallflower plug, and honestly, it's a scent control. This is the first version of the scent control. Maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe it doesn't. If it wasn't the scent control and had like lights here, I don't know if I even would have known it didn't work. But essentially, this was like my last stop in my Wallflower rotation because it's a scent control and I could like turn up the volume. I could turn up the intensity and essentially like really get through this last Wallflower quickly is essentially the basis of what I was doing. One day I like go in, this is in the spare bedroom, so I go in there, you know, like each morning as I come up the stairs to get ready and like check on the progress, like, okay, is she ready to come out the wall yet? Because I know this one's like in last place. I hope that makes sense. If you guys know my Wallflower rotation, if you know my rotations in general, you understand. But because I knew that one was like the lowest and closest to being done, I check on it daily, at least daily. And I realized the lights of this plugin weren't on. So I was like, well, that's really weird. So I'll just like click the button and like, maybe it's funny. So I like clicked the button, nothing was happening. I like unplugged it, plugged it back in. I like clicked the button some more. Like these lights never turned on. So, and I have like a Wallflower plugged into like the same outlet around the corner. Like they back up to each other. So I'm like, if one outlet was blown, you think the other one was like also blown? You know, say we had like an electrical thing, like, you know, we needed to flip the rig or whatever. I'm like, do you think these are on the same thing? They literally are like back to back to each other. That one worked. So I was like, I'm assuming it's this Wallflower plug. I don't know what the situation was. I got this in 2020, maybe the very beginning of 2021, according to this date on the bottom. So it's not that old. Like I'm telling you, I've had Wallflower plugs for years, and this is the short. I've never gone through one ever. Less than 2 years. Like I don't know what the deal was with this. So this is done and all awfully strange. Like it was so weird. But also I'm glad I had that one plugged in, because if I have like the one I have plugged in there now is just no light, nothing, I probably wouldn't realize it was like not working so fast, because I just would have been like, wow, this Wallflower is not moving at all. Like it's just not getting used up. I probably wouldn't have noticed. Okay, quickly, the candles I worked on a little bit. I forgot to grab one. So mahogany, vanilla, worked on this a little bit. I'll talk about it in my candle project pan anyway. Pumpkin donut shop. I actually have been working on Vanilla Bean Noel. I feel like I've probably been sharing this in these, but I recently just watched my candle project pan to get ready for that video, and I hadn't lit that in the last update, so I'm really excited and proud of myself. Pumpkin apple fritter I worked on. I actually did really well on my candles this week. I'm really proud of myself. These aren't done, obviously. They're just being worked on. Welcome Home. Worked on that one a little bit. I'm pretty sure, yeah, I worked on Hot Cider Donut. I essentially worked on all except for one. Worked on this one. And this one actually is kind of pulling out and doing a little better. Way to go, Hot Cider Donut. And then I think the one that I'm really pushing for and did the best on was Salted Caramel Cake. So this one, I'm honestly all the way to the bottom. I probably have one more burn, and I'll probably after that just put it in the lamp. It's getting to the point where once this wax, after a couple hours, it's fully pulled to where you can see the wet clips and all. And so I'll probably just do one more burn and see how it goes. And then if it doesn't fully go down to the bottom, I might just put it into the lamp for a few days, because this obviously won't fit in my crock. She is too big. She is chunky. But can you see, she's almost done, and I'm so happy. I'm to the point where I'm just now I'm so close. Let's finish her. Let's get her done. So that is everything I have been working on. I feel like things are going a little better. I'm kind of in a routine, I guess. Definitely a lot better with my candles and feeling really good about those, but I feel like I'm on kind of a rotation with my wax too, and I've kind of been enjoying more what I've been doing, which has been nice. So that's what I have for this week. Thank you guys for hanging out and chatting with me. Sorry this got kind of rambling and off the rails, but that's my whole channel. So thank you guys. I have exciting things coming. Like I said, tomorrow will be my candle project pan when you're watching this, and then I have my holiday bricks on the way. They're supposed to be here any day, and then my holiday collection order is coming, and then I have a whiff box and a monthly Scentsy club coming. So exciting things coming, and I have my body care project used up. So many videos to film. So thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out with me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.